People ask me where I get all my energy from the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god, and you can be one too. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats Podcast, where we break down the hot topics in the culture. And sometimes, most times, we get a special guest to join me in the studio. As always, thank you very much for all your comments, sharing, liking, subscriptions. Subscribe. The bigger we get, the better our voices. And of course, we'll not rely on anybody or any platform to tell our stories. This is brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Make sure you drink and be yourself. Always stay energized. Now, joining me in the studio today is a very special guest, someone I've followed for quite some time. Got us through the pandemic with her positivity, the energy, walking, talking the right way, things we want to hear. She's an activist. She's fighting for social justice. She's always for political reform. She wants justice for children, protection for young kids. She does it all. A wife, a mother, a businesswoman, and now in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Adetoun. It's just tone, isn't it?
Just Adetoun.
Listen.
That hype no be here. That hype no be here.
Sometimes you need to hear it because I've always wanted to really have a conversation with you because of how you impacted our lives during a very difficult time. The pandemic was when we saw, not only when we saw Nigeria for what Nigeria was, but also when we ourselves looked inwards and started to see what we were doing and wasn't doing. First of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm positive. I'm hopeful. I'm positive, I'm hopeful, because the point where we are now, everybody just has to stay positive and hopeful for a brighter Nigeria. And that's what it is.
First things first, I know I said that you are a wife, you are a mother. Talk to me about yourself. How would you introduce yourself? Who is Adetoun?
Okay, so I'm just Adetoun. The just defines me. Like, everything about me is different. When anybody doesn't want to talk, I want to talk. When anybody is not ready to fight it out, I'm ready to fight it out. So basically, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I don't call myself mother of my children anymore. I'm a mother to everybody. Mother to the husbands, mother to the men, mother to the boys, and mother to the children. And most importantly, I'm a pediatric nutrition consultant. That's that part of me people don't know. And I am also a prophetic worshiper. I sing a lot. So that's me. So in capitulation, just Adetoun is a mom, a wife, a prophetic worshiper, a fighter, an activist, and a woman that will never keep quiet against the government.
Talk to me about Adetoun, the early years. Where were you born and raised? What was it like being a young Tone growing up?
A young Tone was born, raised in a palace. So you can call me a princess. I had everything. I had it all. But to the glory of God, I grew up in the midst of wealth and also having to live with poor people, artisans, and all of that. So for me, my growing up was mixed. I had everything, but I had to, chose what I wanted for myself. You living in a palace and then every time you want to be with security people, living in a palace and every time you want to be with the megad, you want to be with the house girls to see what life is all about for them. So growing up for me was very royal, was very big, was very, very decent. And I can say...
What part of Nigeria, what city was that?
Born in Ilishon. I'm a Jebu Parakwe mi wa. Come from Ilishon. I want Jebu this way too. You know those Jebu this way too. Yes, I'm from Ilishon. My mother is Igbo.
Wow.
I'm from a polygamous family, so I'm Wazobia. My father touched all the parts of this world, from Benin to Hausa to Yoruba. So I'm Wazobia. So that's basically Ogun State, and that tells you that I am poor. I am purely Nigerian.
And you said your mother is Igbo, your father obviously Ogun State, Yoruba. How did those two cultures, how did it play itself out in your life?
As a matter of fact, many cultures played out in my life because my mom is Igbo, my stepmom, Delta, my dad, Yoruba, another stepmom, Yoruba, you know.
Wow.
So I was in the midst of everybody. But the thing is, I think at that point, because of this special affection I had with my dad, I decided to just go the Yoruba route. So I wasn't even interested in my mom's language. I didn't want to know anything. When my younger ones can speak, they can do everything, but I never showed interest in the Igbo language. I've always been Ijebu, she ma gbopa, ma ke fokpa, kon fo ma rap ni Ijebu, mi se ma pada rap ni Ijebu lewa, and that's what it is.
Wow.
So everything about me is always Ijebu. That's why I can't really speak 10 minutes stretch without putting Ijebu. No, I can't.
The pride.
I love it.
Talk to me about Ijebu, man, and the Ijebu people. When we were growing up, the thing is, now you start to see, elements of segregation and even ethnicity. Where they say, Ijebu people, hey, no, watch those people. No,
Be careful about them. So because a lot of people have this mentality that, number one, Ijebu people like money.
Yep.
You see? Number two, Ijebu people like faji, like
enjoyment
parties and all of that. But Ijebu people are also very, very hardworking. They take their Monday to Fridays, very important, Owo. You know? Like Ogun anthem, Ishaya, Omo Ogun, Ishaya. So on a Monday morning, that wake-up call is there. Go and work. On Friday, drop the work.
It's enjoyment time.
Now, Ijebu people, you go, they beg for money to do business. They don't see she give you. But tell them, say your mama died, your uncle died. They don't see money give away, go take the do burial. You think they shock me? Ijebu know they get money to support. Ijebu they get money to do faji. You know, so it's like that. So everybody has a perception about Ijebu people, but I think Ijebu people are most Ijebu people that I've seen are very, very focused, and then they know what they're doing. And Ijebu people are always very educated. Ijebu you go see son, Ijebu you go see doctor. Ijebu people, they take pride in that class of things.
Yep.
They're like, you must.
Elite.
We have that doctor in our family.
Elite.
We have this lawyer in our family.
Yeah.
And Ijebu people are the ones that they so value when you talk about association. Egbe. Like
club
be the age of 25 to 35. You say Egbe Awawa.
Egbe
is our
group.
Our group. Association our bed. And the people, the Ijebu people that are in diaspora, like London, America.
They still have
they don't waste time. They take it so importantly. You will send them personal messages, they won't respond. Go to an Ijebu platform. They are there responding. They're so interested in what is happening, so I like it. I like where I come from. But it's just now that I started to show interest in the Igbo language. Like my first marriage, my ex-husband was Delta. So my ex-husband and my mom, you see, they'll just be flowing, be speaking this. I'll be like,
you'll be like, why are you people planning
Igbo
against me?
Yeah, I don't understand. You are talking about me. Yeah. So at that point, I said, come, something is happening. I got to be updated. So I had to show interest in the Igbo language. But above all, I speak now. I can speak. I'm not some takren. I can speak Igbo.
That's
but
amazing.
Most importantly, Ijebu.
It's very strong.
It's my inheritance. I inherited that language. And I'm not going to trade it for nothing.
Now, you are known for your activism. Where did that start? What was the light bulb? Was it your upbringing? Was it dad and mom? Was it your surroundings? How did the activist in tone become awake?
I think this has been me all these years. This has been me from the days of my youth. If people that we went to school together, they've always known me. I think my father laid some principles down for us. So we grew up with those principles. My dad would tell you that, tell the truth. Not everybody would like you. And you at the same time, you don't need too many friends. So if you have too many people around you, that means they are bees flocking around you for what they want to get. But when you start to be truthful, you see that you don't have too many friends. So I realized growing up that I'd rather just stay my day, and tell the truth. But, growing up, my father also made me understand that there's a certain stage you get to in life, things would have become automatically better. So I grew up hoping that the kind of things that my father suffered, I wouldn't have to suffer it. Because I thought that, yes, they had laid a good foundation, they had cleared the bush, and then life was just all about enjoyment. So sometimes when I see something, I'll be like, it gives me a reflection back to when I was younger, but this thing used to happen. How? Why is it still happening? So, that aggressiveness arose in me. And then, maybe because of the kind of family that I come from, too many rich people, affiliation, connection, and you realize that, uncle, you are rich. You have a voice. You are connected. Why can't you help us do this? Uncle, you too, you know this person. Why can't you do this? And you realize that everybody is just there and nobody wants to talk.
Take care
I said,
of themselves.
really? Is there a crime in talking? And at that point, I just said to myself, let me be the voice. If my father failed me, he gave me an impression of this is what it's going to be, and I didn't get it. I don't think I want to fail my children. I don't think I want to do that. So at that point, I started to speak out anytime I said, even secondary school, there was a time they even told me to go home. I was on suspension for telling the truth. My dad said, my dad said, my dad didn't even go to school to ask them what happened. It was later my dad now said, when the principal wanted to start explaining, she told the truth. The principal said, but there are some policies. Principal said, my dad said, don't worry. So at that point, my dad gave me that confidence that tell the truth.
Regardless of the consequences.
And the way my dad trained us, like, come, don't let anybody use anything to bobo you. Worst case, come back to Illusion. And that's why if you go to my father's house in Illusion today, you see duplexes. My father built it that. Don't let anybody intimidate you with anything. Worst case scenario, ile baba e ni ko padà sí. Ile baba e báyìí ni ko padà sí. So I've always known that if I don't get this and everybody pushes me, I have my father. So in this society where we are today, I find myself like different because I want to say the truth the way it is, and people don't want to say the truth. And Shokwa, let me tell you something. That truth that we never wanted to tell ourselves, that truth that we're always scared to tell ourselves, that truth that we're scared to come out to tell ourselves is what is hitting us and is punishing us now. And that is, so everything, every die in a die, they always talk. So if you thought they okay, now, all the die, no be die, money no day, no be die, fuel no be die, hospital no dey work, no be die. Now one die, we die, my dear brother.
You during the pandemic, I said that was when you caught the attention of the world. One of the videos that really came to my attention was when you stopped, police officers who were, allegedly running rackets of transporting people, and during the time when we were all told to stay in our homes.
Let me shock you. That same day when I saw these people, that same day, the wife of a governor saw these people and drove past and couldn't do anything. Not until she saw me online, that was when she said, get this girl for me. She now told me that, I actually saw these people. But I was like, whoa, while I want to put you, let me go. So it all boils down to the fact that I'm somebody like anywhere around me, everything must be normal.
Must work.
It must work. So that pandemic thing really, because I have a gas station. I deal with ammonia gas. So, we got a security call like, there's a gas leakage. And a drop of ammonia can kill a whole community. So I was like, let me just rush. So I got my stickers, I have my pass and everything. I was like, come on, we there outside. It happen, It be like so this pandemic now for people who get ears. Some people who get mind, then they outside though. So, I was going and I was seeing, I didn't see public transport. I was just seeing all these Hilux, police officers, army, picking, I'm like, and they were collecting money. So I'd been monitoring them from that 7 up. Wow. I kept on watching until I just crossed my, back. This one is too much now. But some people are suffering at home and some people are out here taking advantage of the public office. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't take advantage of the public office that time. And I carried belly that time and nobody knew I was pregnant. I just called myself, Baba, come. I feel no comments today. We go end this matter. Say, what happened? What's going on? What is there again? What is the problem? I say, can you imagine that we were at home suffering and some people are here cashing out? I just crossed the guys. Me, I don't fear gun, though. That's the problem. The thing is, I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm not scared of anything anymore. The only thing I'm scared of at this point in my life is to fail my generation. I'm not scared of poverty. I'm not scared of sickness. I'm not scared of anything. The only thing that I get scared of every day is to fail my generation. And for me not to fail my generation, the only thing that I feel we have left in this Nigeria is our voice. And if we don't speak out, I'm sorry, this generation is going to be a failure. Sorosoke is a unique name that came. I don't know where that name came from. Yeah. And then we're not taking advantage of that name.
That's what I wanted to say. Now, there was a movement at the time during the NSARS that resonated around the world. We in solidarity here in the UK, around the world, we saw what you people were doing in the force in the face of oppression, severe attacks, the movement was strong, but it looks like, as you know, a few people have said online, that somehow, you know, that fire has been doused. Is it the fact that people felt like they weren't going to get anywhere with the continuous pressure that took away that energy? Or do you think the whole system was infiltrated and they kind of took apart that whole movement, the Sorosuke movement?
And SARS was a movement. And it was a drive for change. It was for us, it was a point of no return until we got something. But you know, everybody who came out for NSAS, we were positive. But you know, at the end of the day, the shocker just came. And then lives were lost. Till today, a lot of Nigerians would never come out if there's another NSAS. Till today, a lot of Nigerians would not, they've lost hope because what happened shattered everybody. But let me tell you something. NSAS is a movement that would still reoccur. It might come in another form. Because what was the cause of the NSAS? Everybody was tired. The suffering was enough. We got to the boiling point. So it was like people with common interests, people with common pain, people with common affliction. The drive for us to end it came.
Pushed everybody together.
It brought everybody. It was like a spirit of umoja, the spirit of togetherness. That time, I don't know as the thing they do. You go there sleep like this, you go just a year bound, like a mother's call, and everybody, people will leave their offices and then come. But you look at what happened. Some people died. And that's the problem we have in Nigeria. Because some people died, everybody backed out. But let me tell you something. For there to be change, some people will lose it. Some people will go down for it. Some people will pay for it. The toll gate you people are passing by today. The Lekki toll gate that everybody is passing by today. Don't forget that you are passing, you are passing by the bloodshed of some people. Some people died for people to be able to enjoy that free toll gate
today.
So, if everybody runs away and say we cannot be involved in change, it's already coming back. Look at the streets of Nigeria now. Everywhere, people are lamenting. Look at CBN now. How does the CBN governor want to step out of that building if he's in that building? So everybody is coming out again because the same frustration is pushing everybody out. And then at this point, everybody now knows that we have gotten to a point where that change is still a collective effort. It's not by election. It's going to be a collective effort. I don't always want to remember NSAS because I want to appreciate the effort that everybody put into it. And then it's so painful that we could not achieve it. And why? Because you understand that our leaders had a different motive. And we had a different motive. We wanted change. They felt threatened that some people want to take over their government. We are not interested in your government. We are interested in doing what our entitlements are. It's our right to ask for a good governance. It's our right to ask for protection and security. It's our right for the street to be safe for our children. It's our right for our medical experts to be well paid. It's our right for our police to be seen, respected, without holding sticks, without looking like drenches, without looking like dirty, filthy things. But today, our police officers have become the major criminals. The people that are supposed to be protecting us are the major criminals in our society. And do we want to continue to live like that? No. No. So NSAS, we did our best. We're pushing our best. And the government also knows. But if our fathers, the people we call the politicians, our leaders, if they call themselves our parents and they cannot afford to for 1 second look at the cry of the common man, one day is one day. There will be change.
You mentioned that change will come, but might not come via election. That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought because right now we have an election right now about to take place. What does that message send to people that actually believe in the voting card that they carry?
Who is carrying a voting card? A citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Who is a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? somebody who knows his rights. What is that card that you're carrying? An opportunity for you to cast your vote. For who? For the president. Now I'm going to ask all Nigerians, what is about to change? Nigeria is a structure. Nigeria is a one body with many parts. It is only the head that is about to change. The whole part of the body still remains the same. The whole part of the body still remains the same.
We have to start from somewhere.
The somewhere is you and I. Our problem in Nigeria is not our leaders. Our problem in Nigeria is we, the citizens. I have never heard a politician come out to say you people are fools. But we have called ourselves fools by tolerating their atrocities. We have called ourselves fools by not being able to speak up. So these people have seen themselves that they are not answerable to anybody. Nobody can question their authority. And that is how Nigeria got to where we are today. I've always been an advocate and agitator. I've never believed in election. I will cast my vote, but I've never for once given it a thought that changing the head of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will change the problems of Nigeria. No. We are our own problems. This generation is causing more problems in this country because we have different interests. While some people are screaming for change, some people will say, hey, shut up. Now only you, they suffer. While some people are voicing out that they need help, they say, hey, wait, now only you. So you can imagine when our own generation, faced with different principles, faced with different ideologies. I've had opportunities where I sit down with the government officials on several occasions. I said, Tom, you are here screaming and shouting. You are here telling us to do this. We are willing to do it. We also want to be part of the system. We want the children to also come and this. And they say, as you are stepping out from here, other set of people say, hey, what are they saying? I beg, just give us 250,000. We are okay. Now then get problem. We are contented. Excuse me. So you realize that this generation, we don't have common target. A collective
voice.
And common voice for change. We are diverse. And why is this so? Because some people are benefiting from this government. Immediate beneficiaries. They're not thinking about what they will leave for their children. One day I asked one of the organs of all these agberos, I said, you people are in a state where you are enjoying now. The place where you come from, can anybody, you as a person, can you run to government hospital and say, I'm so person to the governor, and they give you priority service? He said, no. Anybody from your adubo, from your clan, can you say from my community, you rush to government hospital and they give you preferential treatment? He said, no. I said, so your fight, your connection, what has it brought to you? It has brought you immediate benefit for you, your wife, and your children, not the people in your community. So this generation is a generation that can come together and push for change. But you see the election that we're talking about, what is this election? This election is an open book of power tussle. Ex-military, ex-governor wants this, ex-president wants this, the G7 wants this, the cabal wants this, the citizens want this. So it's going to be a fight of the titans. So for me, we must perform our civil duties
Absolutely.
as citizens.
Yep.
But after performing your civil duties as citizens, what do you go back to ask for as a citizen? They have told you to come and vote. What can you ask for in return? You have the right to ask for accountability. You have the right to ask for protection. But after election, you see the way they fight themselves on social media and all that, you're not going to see them again. Social media has become an avenue where our problems have become content. You see somebody come, last month official helped me, they hit me, slap me, they stole from. Some people say, they did same to me. You see some people, on behalf of, go better for this. You see they start to throw, they start to curse. Everybody has a common problem, but nobody's coming out to step up to it. So if a saint becomes the president tomorrow, if anybody becomes the president, our attitude is still the same. And it's still going to be the same thing. The civil servants are still the same. The same civil servants that worked with Goodluck Jonathan, the same civil servant who worked with Buhari, the same civil servant who worked with Obasanjo, the same civil servants are going to work with the incoming. So the head changes, the body does not change.
Now, one of the biggest conversations on social media, especially in Nigeria during elections, is that some people have been very vocal about telling, personalities, celebrities and whatever, not to endorse a candidate. Don't tell us who you're voting for. Don't speak, for a candidate. Don't do this, don't do that. My belief is that if you genuinely have faith in a candidate, that you believe that their words are right, their plans are straightforward, and you want others to know about it, you should be free enough to share that information. What are your thoughts?
For me, because the so-called celebrities have a large number of followers, and then they play a sort of influence on their followers. Social media is all about, I like you. They don't see your wrongs. And the day you say something that doesn't go down well with you, the hate begins. Yeah. You lose it all. So you just need to stay focused about who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe in. So now, I don't feel anybody should come out and say, this is my candidate. It's your private civic right to vote. Because when you are trying to do that, you're opening up a negotiation table for some people to come on your side or for some people to leave your side. So I don't think it's right for celebrities to come and say, this is my candidate. You don't come to tell us other private things. So why are you coming to tell us your candidate? Keep your candidate. If you know what you've seen in your candidate that you believe in, stand by it, stick by it, go to the campaign ground with him, support him. But don't come here to tell us I'm voting for this because of this reason. The ideology is different. Look at the issue of Seun Kuti and P-Square, for example. At the end of the day, you realize that they're both talking about a good Nigeria.
Absolutely. But they want the same thing.
But at one point in time, everybody's ideology is different. Because it has happened to me too. I've been interested in a personality and not the political party before. So P-Square says they want Obedient because they feel this guy is this. If Obedient was in APC, they will still go for Obedient. If Obedient was in PDP, they will go. If Obedient is in Labour Party, they've gone for him because what they see is Obi himself. Seun also thinks Nigeria will be great. But Nigeria will not be great by Obedient becoming the president. Nigeria will be great by we understanding that we are the change. So everybody wants change, but change from different angles, from different opinions and all of that. Same way you will see people talking about Atiku. They want Atiku to be the president because they will tell you he's this, is that. Some people will tell you, okay, it's Tinubu because Tinubu is this, Tinubu is that. So there's somebody you always believe in.
Facts.
There's no doubt about it. There's somebody you always believe in. And when it comes to time of politics, there's always one person everybody believes in. So allow everybody to believe in the belief. But the thing is, if you believe, whoever you believe in, understand that change is you. Change is not the government. Change has never been the government, and change will never be the government. Change will always be you and I playing our parts as citizens, voicing out when the need be. Haven't you seen that these days on social media, by the time you come and shout, hey, something has happened though, you realize that within 1 hour, the government will respond. Write letter, write petition, go to government office. You'll be looking for one uncle that knows the governor said, you are wasting your time. Just come and shout on social media. They will respond to you. So that is to tell you that our voice is strong. But how much of our voice is out there?
You've made your feelings clear about some of the political leaders that we've had. You've been in opposition. How have you been comfortable being this very strong voice opposing certain powers that are controlling the system, particularly in the state that you reside in, without fear of being reprimanded?
At some point, for once, I've never been scared. I've never been scared of the authorities. I've never been scared of anything. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you I'm the safest citizen in that country. I'm the safest person because if you touch me, then go say the government touch me. And government know they find my wallet. Say, you people should just leave and let her talk. But the thing is, they don't see the way people see it. When we come out to talk, everybody, every human body needs somebody to checkmate you. Your wife will checkmate you at home.
Facts.
Your father will checkmate. The father will checkmate his children.
Yep.
But in Nigeria, once you begin to checkmate the government, people think they've given this one money. Some people are sponsoring her against. Against what? What are you sponsoring me against? You're sponsoring me against that I have a right to tell me that the street needs to be safe. I don't get it. So for me, I don't have problems with any politician. Because when they come to me, so many times they come to attack me, I'll be like, sorry, have I said what is wrong? Then we begin to argue, say, okay, you are making sense. But you know, the past government too did this, the former government too did, and I'll be like, why do we have to continue to pass blame? If it gets to the point where people don't have money or you don't have the facility to do this thing, come out and say it openly. Let us understand that
know where
this
the problem
is what is going. This is what is going on.
Yeah.
You keep it, you hide it, and don't forget that once you're in office, so much is expected of you. And if you know that this thing is not doable, come out and voice out. At least during pandemic, I'm saying it for the first time today. The government mandated billionaires in this country to donate money.
Facts.
I know of my uncle that donated 1 billion. It wasn't as if he willingly. They mandated every one of them, all the Dangotes and all of them. Government has a list of trillionaires in this country. They have a list of billionaires, they have a list of millionaires, they have a list of thousandaires. And they called them one after the other. And people donated. It was later they discovered that, they should have donated directly to the people.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, I don't have problems with the government. Number one is, I look at my background. I don't need anything. Trust me. I'm contented with whatever I have. You can't buy me. You can't intimidate me. You can't put fear. There was a time where DSS is always in front of my house. You just see them. I'll be like, people should come inside and have lunch, arrest me, and let's go. As a matter of fact, there was a time where I had to even write them that, do you need to update my address or anything? Or why are you people always waiting for me to step out before you want to pick me up? Come inside my house, pick me up. But once you are picking me up, just tell me my offense. Because I don't want to believe I'm in a military system. I have a right to insult anybody. I have a right to praise anybody. If you do it right, I praise you. If you don't do it right, I sit down with you now. I don't care whether you're my uncle, whether you're my brother, whether you're my relative. If you don't do it right, I'm going to say it exactly the way it is. So today you see me with officials, with government officials, you think Tom is fighting them. If you don't do it right, I'm going to come out to say, uncle, you already know mi o mo pe ko dagba ni IQ kankan. It's true.
Facts.
Because the pain has gotten to the point where I can't continue to rub your head and pamper you all in the name of culture. We're talking about culture and we're talking about the lives of people. And these people, the problem is they know the truth. But they can't just easily wake up and say they want to do it easily without being pushed or without being dragged or without being forced. Look at the issue that happened in December, where police officers were going into filling station to take fuel into police. No police vehicle should ever be seen in any police station.
Absolutely.
It's just like you start to see BRT buses in police stations.
Absolutely.
You start to see ambulances in police. It's wrong. But you know what? That thing took Nigerians by surprise because they don't even know. So you see the problem we have. The problem is we don't even know what our rights are. We don't even know the right things. We can't even spell the wrong things. And then I accosted them. And then I had to do the video. I had to start doing investigations. We wrote petitions. We did everything. I went as far as writing a letter to the state's House of Representatives, or what do they call them? State House. We need the allocation that was meant for police.
That they
management
are
of police. That they are
public.
You need to give us a breakdown of who is in charge of this money. We want to know. It's my right. I have a right to know. I'm a taxpayer.
Over here, we call it Freedom of Information Act.
Freedom of Nigerians. You will never. You can imagine a whole House of Reps saying that we have never seen citizens come here to request for anything. Let me burst your bubbles. Look at the time of pandemic when they said one woman took Indomie and branded Indomie and used it for birthday. Let me shock you. Nobody went to report. Upon the whole noise on social media,
the videos,
nobody went from our constituency went to report her. So the house was telling me that, Madam, you don't expect us to chase this woman. What we heard was just all over social media. There's no official documentation. And we can't say because we heard it and we saw the pictures and we confirmed, you want us to send her away. If we send her away, that's another problem because that means nobody is representing her constituency here.
So there has to be a process.
Yes, there has to be a process. Bring your reports and we would send her away back to our constituency. But Nigerians will never show up. Nigerians will never. You will never see Nigerians go to where justice is. Everybody will just be shouting and screaming. That's why I said our problems have become content.
Now, Another very important part that you've also been extremely vocal about is the safety and education of young children. There's been instances where we've sadly had young kids in the care of school authorities and officials where they've passed away, and one recently as well, that you've spoken out and been involved in serious investigations about. Please talk to me about this part of your work and what's really going on.
I'm a mother. One person gives birth to a child, the whole society owes that child a responsibility to protect and
safe.
look after
Yes.
these children. And I always say this, that this day and time, the schools have become the first parents. We are no longer the first parents. Our children go to school, they spend 6 to 8 hours in school.
Absolutely.
They come back home, they're tired, they eat lunch, they watch TV, they go to sleep. So how many times in a day do you have time to vamp and evacuate everything that your child has taken in and then start to reshuffle? It doesn't happen anymore. So when schools tell these children, don't say this, you realize that these children would not say. Look at the issue of Dubai with Chrisland. They said, don't say a word. And the children got to man, they didn't say a word. Now, we keep fighting the government because we understand that government is more focused on construction of roads and all of that. All the social responsibilities, civil responsibilities, the government doesn't pay attention to all of these things. I remember one day I told the governor, I said, let me tell you something, Mr. Governor. One thing that I hate to hear you say is fellow Lagosians or fellow citizens. Who are you talking to? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? My fellow children.
Because
let there be a sense of ownership and belonging. You can't call me sister and I want to attack you. No. That softness, that emotions will run through first. So when you want to approach people, you say, my children, you are the father of the state. Then there's a sense of belonging. Even if they want to stone you, anybody hears my children, they at least they'll step back for a second. So every time we keep coming to you to say, this government, you are so interested in road construction contracts. This angle, everything you're doing is still for these children. Don't let us leave them. These children are going astray because technology has brought in so much porous things that these children are getting themselves involved in. Our children have become professors of crime. And we, the parents, have become the amateur overnight. They know more than what we know. Facts. So we have to continue to tighten the loopholes, make policies and regulations that will fist it up. Those days when I was in school, I went to private school, I went to public school. Those days we had guardian counselors that used to come talk to us. We had offices that we could easily walk to and go and talk to somebody. If you look at the whole walls of our schools, you see, don't do this, neatness, tighten your belt, you do this, you do. These days, do you find these things in schools? No. But you realize that every of this thing has become a cabal. During Dowen College, we were there shouting and screaming. That's another topic for another day. Chrisland, all of the schools, so many schools that we don't even come to social media to talk about. And we keep telling the government that put an open eye. But you know what? We are our problems. We, the citizens, are our problems. Because we don't want things to be straight like this if it doesn't favor us. You'll see some people now start to go behind under the influence of, I know one king, I know one governor, I know one president, I'm connected, we're rich, and they want to bend it to suit them. And then they want to, schools of these days, they have an image that they are protecting. They believe that they must be perfect. They don't want their images tarnished. They don't want to lose customers. They don't want to lose students and all of that. It shouldn't be. And that's our fight with the government. If it has to be done right, do it right. It doesn't matter whether a school is 50 years old. 50 years ago, from 30 years ago till now is different.
Protect the children.
The policies have to keep changing. The same policies and principles that you guys used 50 years ago cannot work anymore. These days, children know everything. But you realize that at the end of the day, the government wants to make you look like a failure as a mother. They want to make you look like you can't do it, you can't achieve it. But you know what busts me all the time? The more you do it wrongly, the more I want to come out to fight you. Because a mother must never get tired nor weary until we get it done.
Even at home, you have issues with your husband. People drag and drag. At the end of the day, a woman will come out to win. And that's the reason why if I fight this battle, I don't win, it's not going to stop me from fighting another battle. It doesn't weaken me. It strengthens me the more. And that's the same way it should be with every woman out there. Something should not break you. Your problem should strengthen you the more. Because that's the difference between being a woman and a mother. A woman can say, oh, shit, I can't take this no more. This is too much. Walk out of the office, say, no, take your work. I don't need this. I don't want it. Take a walk. A woman can be scared of, I'm not going to do this because I don't even want to encounter this. But as a mother, you have to do it.
You have to face it.
You have to face it. It's a battlefield. You have to continue. Motherhood journey does not end. You have to keep doing it and keep doing it. So, but you realize that any small thing in my own Nigerian country, hey, I know they go. My husband family, they want me. They want me serious that time. Say, if they see me, you see what some people call you. Just Adetoun, I salute your courage. I love you. You are our voice. You are our God sent. Let them be problem. You can never see them. They will check out. They are only motivators. They are not agitators.
But some
Stop
people have
motivating me.
Some people have different roles. Maybe their role is to motivate you.
I don't need
because
motivation. I don't need motivation. I'm self-strength. Every mother must be self-strengthened. I don't need you to motivate. What are you motivated? Abi Usain Bolt wey wan run? Abi Okosha where they play ball where they need clapping. I don't need it. My problems are enough motivation for me to keep moving, to keep driving. You see young girls at the age of 8, 12 smoking, and you expect me to keep quiet looking at that? It can happen to my daughter. It can happen to my son. So any woman out there that feels like one slight problem discourages you, I don't know who you, then that means you don't even know who you are. You're just a feminine statue who doesn't know the mantle that you carry. So for people like us, there is no way we will not continue to agitate with the government. They hear most times. When we shouted about the fuel, they called the police, started giving them fuel. Must we shout before you give police fuel? Look at it now. There is unrest in Lagos State. They'll call the police people. If they don't get fuel, then go. Then go. Police vehicle go free move. They can't move. So if all of us come out, if all women come out and understand that it's our responsibility. We're not doing the government a favor by sitting on their neck. You're not doing the government a favor. You're not chasing clout. You're not seeking attention. You're not seeking validation by coming out to talk. You are only playing the role of what God has created you for. Abiyamoniwa now. So why? So you see, for schools, I'm always very concerned about schools because peer pressure, you see that word called peer pressure is still so much in existence. And it's becoming stronger by the day. You see these children, they come, they sit down together. What happened in your house? What happened? They whisper into each other's ears. They tell themselves what they want to do. And before you know it, they form an ally. And before you know it, they have secrets that they're keeping. And we parents don't know until something happens. Yeah, Mogbe, my son can never do this. Your son can never do what? Your son has done more. So we will continue to be on school issues because it has become the primary home for all our children. And all eyes must be on the schools. Schools must be checkmated every time. I remember when I was younger, by the time we go home, by the time we are coming back, a lot of things would have changed. You ask, they say, they've scrapped it, it's not working anymore. They've brought this in. They keep revalidating it.
Absolutely.
But
every time.
It is in my own Nigeria of now that they don't revalidate schools.
Absolutely. Every time.
I don't understand. Things have gone deep and bad. I'm not going to mention this woman's name. She's a wife to an ex-governor, and then the husband is still very much in service. Anytime she sees me crying and shouting, or she sees me that they call me for a meeting, maybe in any of these state house, and I don't, we come out and then we're arguing, and she sees that don't calm down, they're trying to pacify me. She'll tell me, she said, Tom, my husband saw you on screen today. My husband said, if only this woman knows what is rotten, that this generation is only crying and screaming about what is spoiled, that if only they know what is rotten inside. If a politician is telling me that, and me, I'm still screaming on waiting don't spoil, that means say maggot don't dey some places where we never fit touch safe.
Absolutely.
So Nigeria, we are our problems. And let me tell you something, we are our solution. We can only be our solution when we understand that we should not fail this our coming generation. We can't afford. God has blessed us. Technology is there. No secrets. Everything we need to use as a tool and a voice is in front of us. Let's stop using our problems as content. If you see something happen in Nigeria today, all the blogs will carry it. They will fill up the space, blah, blah, blah. After 24 hours, they are looking for another gist to come. Nobody will say, okay, what is the outcome of this?
Move on.
You will not see anybody asking. We will be back there fighting. Let me shock you something that happened recently. I went to a hospital and then I saw a man lying on the floor, badly wounded. What happened to you? What happened? Say government vehicle hit. Government vehicle do waiting, hit you. I called the lawyer. Oh yeah, right, this and that. You know what the government does to us? Once the government sees that, these people, they're on this case, they'll just go and meet their family.
Give them a little something.
I'm telling you. Then you that you are fighting, you'll be like a nuisance. They will even say, me worry. I've never seen her. This auntie, I don't know her. No, we don't know her.
Stomach problem.
We are our own problems. Because he wants his own problem immediately solved. Not to understand that what we're trying to do is for other people not to fall into that situation. And if peradventure they fall into that situation, government understands now that they must be responsible.
Absolutely.
So we are our problems.
Finally, just for us to round up, I mentioned you're a mother and a wife. I see you with your kids all the time on social media. How does your husband feel having a warrior I know, as you know, as kids, we just know our mother and we're used to our mother, no problem. There's nothing changes. That's just my mom. But your husband, how does he feel? How does he handle this? You see, this calling.
Let me make it more interesting for you. Now, if you're talking about my husband, you're talking about Baba Shabi. Let me even help you with my ex-husband. The first time my ex-husband called me, he said, sorry, I want to find out. Just Adetoun, is it the same Iyakensi? Is it the wife that I used to? Because those ones know me as quiet. So they'll be like, I don't understand.
That's what happened here.
You know, what happened here? They can't even, they can't even put it together till tomorrow. Like, what happened? But you know what? My husband now, it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing because he's the only person that has encouraged me to be me. He's the only man that has allowed me to do your thing, even if he affects me. My husband used to be a consultant of the government. Everybody say our husband is a politician. My husband has never been a politician. My husband belongs to his own political party. He has never been a politician. He has never held any political government office. But he is a Lagosian, close to everybody in Lagos. The people I'm fighting, we jam in parties. We meet back to back all the time. So it's a little bit more difficult for him because, Tom, you are fighting my own people. I'll be like, I'll go join body with them. Wait till concern me. Your people, are they the children on the streets? Your people, are they the people dying every day on the street? No. Your class of people are sorted. My own class of people that I believe in, they are not sorted. So don't come to me telling me that. But at the end of the day, my husband is still my manager. Because, but the only thing is, any of the videos that I do to post, my husband is never aware. He's only people that are telling that your wife has posted. So sometimes he's always asking, say, when did this girl do this? Let me even shock you during NSAS. They'll call him from Bodilon. Bodilon will call best friends Bodilon. Bodilon's best friends will call their team. Hey, Larry, one year away, that woman is your wife. Larry said, yeah, that's Yashabi. Help us tell her that this. So I will see them discussing. I'll just be like, it's all right, no problem. Whether you people will enter my house and come and stop me. Once Baba Shabi wants to sleep, I'll just be like, Baba Shabi, have you used your drugs? Take this one. I'll just help him add one extra banana. I'll give him banana and all those sleeping aids. Baba Shabi, eat this almond, eat this banana, take your drug. I'll just give him one extra. Say, so by the time Baba Shabi wakes up, I've gone to NSAS I have come back. So there was one particular situation. I think that was the day the army posted. Baba Shabi bought new padlock and padlocked the gates. So he slept off and put the key inside his boxers that this woman is not going anywhere today. She even he already gave them assurance that people don't worry, people should do. Do you know that a sitting governor called? And they called from Aso Rock that, can you please tell your wife that whatever she wants to do, we are okay with it. If they like, let them be jumping. But please tell them to stop singing that national anthem on our head. That the minute we hear citizens singing national anthem on that NSAS ground, it pricks us. It pricks our conscience. My husband said, national anthem only. They won't sing it, don't worry. So when Baba Shabi mentions it, I'll just call all these I'll just call people that, let's arrange for those trumpeters. So that's why you notice that every NSAS, once I get there, we'll first sing national anthem. But to the glory of God, he's been supportive.
Obvious.
He encourages me. And when I'm doing what is not right, he'll tell me, Adetoun, this is you. Every time you can't fight the government, have a discussion.
You have to work with them as well.
You have to work, and I'll be
for
like,
progress.
I'm not unemployed. I don't need any job.
But just to
embrace. The only reason why sometimes I soft pedal for the government is I feel I'm a mother. You can't continue. You can't be fighting your children all the time. Toba forward to we. There
must be compromise.
You spank them and you bring them close. And the reason why you're bringing them close is like, okay,
let's do the right thing now.
You people, and I always said, I said, Commissioner of Kenofinje, Commissioner of Sports, Abi, you don't deserve it. You were blessed. It's a gift. You don't deserve that office. So I assume you don't know what you're supposed to do.
So this is it.
Yeah. This is it. Yeah. This is it. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's do it. Say, this is what we want. Stop fighting us. Because you people will not listen.
If you come that way first.
So when people see me like, we saw it, you can see me with anybody. I am a mother. I am not a girl. I have seen sufferness. Absolutely. I have seen pain. I have seen children die in my hands. I've had to leave my own children. I've had to leave my husband to go to Enugu, to go to Zamfara, to go to different places, ID camps, living there with them, feeding them on daily basis, while my own children and my own husband is at home. So if I scold the government, if I'm fighting them, there's always a time where I'll say, sir,
let's see if we can
this
work.
is this. This is this. This is this. Adetoun, thank you for bringing it to our. Please, if there's anything, let us. I said, I don't have to come to you tomorrow. Tomorrow might be sparking outside, because I am a mother.
Absolutely.
And I have to, that position, I have to maintain it at all times. But my husband too, it's not been easy for him.
Absolutely.
This is the most difficult thing that has happened to my husband. Because my husband will tell me sometimes that if I had known that you are an activist, I for just they go JJ. Wait till I
just follow my own road.
Let me just be going JJ. Yeah. And sometimes he'll be like, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
That's who my wife is. Absolutely. Sometimes there was a governor that said, hey, Oga, help me explain to you, how much would it cost her to stop talking? My husband said, let me have a discussion with her. I'll call you people back. My husband said, if only we can take her to India and let them drain her blood. It's like that thing is inside.
It's impossible.
It's inside her blood.
This one can't be bought.
This one can't be drained. Let's arrange for her to take her to to India. But at the same time, the same people we are fighting for, the same generation that we're trying to make better, they also come back to attack me. You see, a lot of times people on social media say, her husband, no be your husband steal money, no be your husband be thief. I'll be like, see, let me tell you something. It has happened to me with my own blood. If you do something, let me go help you call police. If you have seen that my husband has taken anything that belongs to the public, go to EFCC and report. I go carry food, go they give am for EFCC. And the thing is so easy. EFCC go give me room where I go fit bank Baba Shabi for the go. I didn't send you to steal public funds. But the thing is, you only see them, just like I said, we are our own problems.
Just negative social media
We
comments.
are our own problems, because if you see that somebody has done something wrong, get the police involved. Report to EFCC.
To the right
or
authorities.
if somebody has told you a story that is not true, do your investigation. You have a right to get a lawyer and say, I want to investigate this person. We want to receive this person's employment letter and his whatever document you need. The government will give it to you. Stop coming to social media, because that means if you know one criminal and you're not talking, that means you know 1,000,001 criminals and you're not talking. So at the end of the day, who are the problems? We are our problems.
I think on that note, Just Adetoun says we are the problem. But what I'm going to say is this, just to wrap up, to say the work that you've been doing is noticed, it's appreciated, it's very important, not only to speak what you see and try to push for change, but also to inspire people, young girls, young boys, not only in Nigeria, but around the world, who, if there is one reason to follow you, it is just to be inspired that if you see something, say something.
And get it sorted. On the ground.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest all the way from Nigeria is the incredible and very motivated, exceptionally brilliant Adetoun.
Thank you for having me, Shokwe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right. Resume.